Well, welcome back, colleagues. Thank you so much. So our previous conversation, we were discussing the nuclear model, which is one of the theories of urban growth, which was developed in 1954. And I had explained the 10 major areas which formulated the nuclear model, which include the central business district, wholesale light manufacturing, low-class residents, medium-class residents, high-class residents, which I was given an example to say, even if you see right now the way cities are planned in Zimbabwe, you can see that we have got high-density suburbs, we have got medium-density suburbs, we have low-density suburbs. So in other way, this multiple nuclear tend to apply to how most of our cities are structured and where our industrial and light industrial areas or sites are located. And I was now explaining the exploitative model, which I was saying this theory divides the city into three. Apart from the concentric zones and the sector model, this theory tried to put the city into three. The same secular concentric zones are. We have got the seat of death. We have got the seat of need. We have got the seat of superfluity. So when we say the super of death or the seat of death, I mean to say, it's characterized by the following. It's a center of exploitation by the seat of need and the seat of superfluity. The rest two, same secular zones. So the characteristics of the seat of death, this is an area where poor people live and they are being exploited by the people who live in the seat of needy and the seat of superfluity. So they are exploited through two different taxes, such as a machine tax and the debt tax. Payment of wages below the worker's worth is described as a machine tax. So for giving a practical example, right now in Zimbabwe, if you are having a salary which is below your poverty datum line, it means that you are paying a machine tax. You are referred to as a machine taxpayer according to this theory. And again, the workers are paid less than their work output surplus. So in other words, we are saying someone who is in the seat of death is someone who works overtime, but is paid less for the works or output he is producing. So then the other tax is the second tax, which falls under the death seat of death. This is the death tax, is paid by the poor residents in terms of paying higher price for food, housing, other consumer items and services. So practically, if you are getting a salary or a wage which is below the poverty datum line, you are likely to go and buy products which are highly inflated. For instance, right now, we do have a scenario where we have got a RTGS or a bond notes, and the one is working so hard day and night, but at the end of the day, the salary in terms of buying or be it goods or paying rentals, it's so expensive as it is paid in foreign currency or in US dollars. So that process of making sure that you have converted the RTGS to US dollar to meet your needs, you are paying the death tax. So in addition to these problems, the seat of death also suffers from a lack of city services and civic amenities. We have seen that most suburbs where the poor resides, there is a high lack of basic services such as water and sanitation. They go for weeks without water, and that's why it is referred to as the seat of death. Then the other issue I'm going to allude on is on the seat of need, which I say the seat of need, which occupies an intermediate location between the seat of death and the seat of superfluity. So this part of the city is inhabited by the blue-collar working class inhabitants, which resemble the working class zone in Burgess' concentric model. The residents in this area are characterized by William as the hardheads, the solid union members of middle-class America. So the suburban-based business interests and politicians exploit this semicircular concentric zone. So we see that there are some settlements or suburbs, like for instance, if you see Rugare, they were mainly created for workers to provide labor in the industry. This is the seat of need. And the characteristics of this concentric zone is they are being exploited for their labor by those who live in the seat of fluidity. Then the other semi-secular body concerning the exploitative model is the outermost semi-secular concentric zone, which is described as the seat of superfluity, which houses the elite, entrepreneurs, managers, and people belonging to high class. So these are your Borodel, these are your Chisipite, which we refer to as seat of superfluity. That's where most of company owners, managers, and the political elites live. And although the population of the outer zone is small in number, they constitute the very affluent group, which is instrumental to the allocation of resources. So these settlements where these political elites, business managers, company owners live, they do have a large space as compared to those who live in the city of death. And they also play a decisive role in the governance of the country and live a leisured life. So in terms of governing the country, those who live in the seat of superfluity, they have the control and they determine who gets what, when, and how. And thus the exploitative model presents the picture of exploitation along with the problems of the inner city dynamics. So you might be asked to write an essay or an exam question to say, please describe how this exploitative model apply to the current city arrangements in Zimbabwe, maybe using Masingo, using Hawaii, using Harare as a case study. So generally, the expectation here is for you to explain how the exploitative model has been propounded and how it is being applied, taking into consideration the various suburbs which are in Zimbabwe. Then the other issue, here, any questions so far? Are there any questions, colleagues? Hello? Then if you look on the slide, there's a key question there. Which one of the theories of urban growth is more relevant to Zimbabwean cities? Kindly take note of these questions, guys. They are key questions, and you have to take note of them so that when you are further reading or further researching, you also understand a bit more. So in terms of our unit 1, I think I've covered what needs to be covered, and now I'm going to the next chapter or the next phase. So if you look on your course outline, you will see that I have covered a lot of ground on unit 1. Now the following should be done. There are some group presentations which must be done. I understand you are 21 in your class. So I have created group 1, group 2, group 3. Can you please come up with 3 groups of 7 people? You research and make presentations. So group 1 will be presenting on rural-urban differences. Then group 2 will be presenting on peri-urban interface dynamics. Then group 3 will be presenting on social amenities in urban areas. Thank you so much. This is the end of my presentation for Unit 1 section according to our course outline. So through the class rep, can you please organize the groups and make sure you send the list of group members for each group to my email or again on our WhatsApp platform so that everyone will access it and you make sure that they will present. So my previous discussion, I also alluded to say these group discussions, you should as well participate. Please make sure you participate within these group discussions. Don't hibernate, talk with your group members as this group presentation will aid to your coursework mark. I rest my case. Thank you so much. If there are questions, please feel free to ask before we say it a day. Thank you. Any questions?
When are we going to make our group presentations?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. In terms of our group presentation, what we are going to do, first you have to submit them, the slides. You submit the PowerPoints on my email on the 2nd of November 2023. Then we will arrange whether we are going to meet. If you are free, we can meet one day over the weekend. If you are free, we meet, we discuss about the presentation, then we are done. I assume that by Friday, we should be complete, or we should be done with our course. We'll be doing these lectures daily from 9 to 10. Then maybe when we meet, when you'll be doing group presentation, if there is any need for other areas which needs clarity, we'll continue from there. Then we'll discuss and prepare for the exam. So I have seen, Christopher, your question. Maybe because of our Zoom link, which might expire right now, I will respond, take this question to our WhatsApp platform. Then we will respond there. If you also have other questions, please let us use our WhatsApp group and ask each other some questions, and as we go. That's the Education 5.0 you are working towards. Thank you so much. Are there any questions, the class rep, before I wrap up?
No questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, colleague.